right now. And unfortunately, you have the chair currently, it's Nigeria, and the president of Nigeria, he's also facing a lot of pressure in his country in terms of how the election panned out, in terms of the results. Some questioning the credibility of the elections. He issued a strong statement yesterday, but already when you read the reaction to that statement, people were already saying, you yourself, you are not legitimate. And therefore, this time around, ECOWAS is not as strong as the ECOWAS that we are used to. You'd recall when there were challenges in the region previously, they were quick to react and to respond, and there was that credibility because those who were speaking at that time, who were leading the regional body, had credibility. But right now, it's on a very shaky ground.
So, guys, you heard what she just said here, that Niger, they're actually having issue. And then the ECOWAS president, or the ECOWAS chairman, who is President Bola Tinubu, sent a strong note of warning to actually warn the military there that they should actually desist from anything they are planning and actually obey their government. But they flaunted what he told them. They did not even want to listen to what he was saying. They don't care about what he was saying. They just went ahead to do what is in their mind. And like we've heard in the news, that they actually hijacked their president, and they're also threatening other leaders in the country. There's an ongoing coup in the country. So that's what is actually happening in Niger Republic. And from this video here, this woman is saying that one of the major reasons why this is happening is because the ECOWAS no longer have that strength, that capacity that they used to have before now. Before now, like what she said, most of their leaders were legitimate leaders. Most of the leaders have credibility. So other countries, the countries they are leading, have respect for them. Both their military and everyone just in the country have this fear and reverence for leaders of ECOWAS. But now that's not what we are seeing. Because how will the chairman of ECOWAS give a strong order, don't do this, and then the order is flaunted? And like she just pointed out, that it's majorly because of the fact that they are saying you were not elected properly. You are still having issues of credibility. Your people are still saying you are not the president of Nigeria. You are having issues. So why will you come and tell us what to do? So that's what we are seeing now that is happening in the ECOWAS, because their chairman, who is our president, Bola Tinubu, in the eyes of the world, in the eyes of other African countries, in the eyes of the countries that are part of ECOWAS, they don't see him as a legitimate leader. So it's impossible for them to follow for them to follow what he's telling them to do. So for me, this is actually a lesson to our leaders. It's a lesson to our leaders that you should actually strive to do well wherever you find yourself. If in your home country things are not really going well in your home country, your people are suffering, your people are actually agitating that you are not our leader and everything, it's going to be impossible for you to go out there to lead other people. So that's what we're just seeing that is happening between Tinubu, the ECOWAS, and then the Niger Republic. That's what we are seeing here, because they are coming out to say we cannot obey this order now. You are just like our leader, kind of, in quotes. Our leader here, our president, was not legally elected. So you too in your country, you are having issues. So you are not supposed to tell us what to do. So to our leaders out there, this is actually a call to do better. When we actually vote for people in power, when people come into places of authority, it's actually to help the masses. It's not just to be there and not do anything. For the military in this country to be acting this way, it's because I believe they are fed up, because what they are gaining from the democracy, to them it's nothing. The people are not being helped. The government of the day is just embezzling the money of the people, feeding themselves, feeding their families, and enjoying. And then at the end of the day, the people there keep suffering. The people there are just at the same point, at the same level. So it's very difficult for the people to thrive in that kind of government. So that's the major reason why this particular coup is happening in Niger Republic, because the people are tired of the government. They are not enjoying the dividends, they are not enjoying the benefits of democracy. And this is sad actually, because how will the military just rise and start attacking the government? It's impossible. They are attacking the government because of the things they are not getting from the government. They are attacking the government because they know that the government can actually give them better, but they don't have access to those things that the government is meant to give to them as the people they are ruling. So that's the major thing that is happening currently in Niger Republic. And it's actually a strong warning to leaders in African countries that you can actually do better. Your leadership position is an opportunity to grow your country. Your leadership position is an opportunity to help the people in your country, so that something like this will not arise. Because when such a situation becomes so strong on the people, it's just like you are choking their neck, and they get to a point they cannot hold it anymore, and they flare up, they spark, and you begin to see such a thing like as this, that like the military taking over, the people fighting against their own government and all of that. And that's how and it's not how it's meant to be. But I believe that the people have gotten to a point where they are already tired of their government, and it's really sad. They have gotten it to a point where they are tired of their government. And to our Nigerian leaders too, it's actually a call, a wake up call. It's a wake up call. Our names are actually, Nigeria is meant to be the giant of Africa, guys. We are meant to be the giant of Africa. But that's not what we are seeing. How will the president of Nigeria, which is meant to be the giant of Africa, and also the chairman of ECOWAS, give this kind of order, but the order is flaunted. But it's just like there was nothing that was said about a whole president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The chairman of ECOWAS gave an order to the military there, but they flaunted it. Why? Because we are already losing our value. We're already losing our value when it comes to the outside world. We're already losing our value, and that's not how what is meant to be. That's why most times we are crying and asking the judiciary to do the right thing, so the right people will come into power, so at least Nigeria can actually regain her place as the giant of Africa. Because if we don't regain this place, future generation will keep going through this kind of problem. Keep, I can call it stigma. They will keep going through this kind of stigma, because just imagine that you are a leader, for example, and you gave an order. So this is what is just happening. A leader gave an order, but it was just like nothing was said. They just continued with what they are doing, because they have this mindset that you cannot come and remove the wood in our eyes when your own eyes is filled with logs of wood. That's just what is playing out, because they believe that Nigeria, you are there, you are having challenges with your people, you are there, and then they are just fighting against your own government and the credibility of you being their president, and then you are coming to tell us what to do. It's not possible now. So that's what is just happening. And then we are just calling on our leaders in different sectors to please wake up and do the right thing. That's what we deserve at this point in time as Nigerians, that here in Nigeria. So that's just it.
Gloria, thank you for that beautiful contribution. I hope you all can hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. So, guys, we've seen what is happening in Niger, and how they disregarded what our president said.
Yeah.
Think this glitch we will still overcome it. So, what we are trying to say here is that leadership is very simple. Leadership is very simple. And you know what? The people are not even asking for too much. We are not
Yeah.
asking for too much, just basic things. Give us good road, give us electricity, give us good water. Let our schools work. Let people go to school. Let there be access to education. Just basic, basic things. These are what the citizens are asking. And the worst hit is in Africa.
Mm.
Africa, the leaders, they so much look down on the people. They only realize the value of the people during elections. They will come to like influence the people, tell them to come and vote for them. But once elections are over, they will not remember the people again. You can see what is happening in Nigeria today. Many people are dying because of this fuel subsidy. You can't even feed. And those in the National Assembly, they'll be talking about bulletproof cars. You can imagine people can't feed, and the National Assembly, some of them will be thinking of going to buy bulletproof cars. So you find out that the problem we have is that leaders, African leaders, they don't know how to connect with the people. And this is what is causing this coup. Coup is always happening only in Africa. You can imagine Niger, see what they are going through. So I'm going to be showing you this tweet that was tweeted. About, after that, I will also back it up with a video. This is coming from Mr. Madi Shehu, and he said, every day for the tea. Below is the finance minister of Niger Republic, having been told by the new military junta to account for all the stolen money of the country in the next 48 hours or face execution by firing squad. You can imagine how he's going to die. And I tell you, these military people, they are not playing. They are friends to nobody. They came out with serious anger in them. They are not playing. They are just there. Go and see what they are doing to politicians. Even civilians have joined them. If they see any politician, they want to beat the person to death. So you can imagine this order. Let me allow you watch this man shedding tears in public without shame. Look at the finance minister. See him crying, crying heavily when he heard that he might be killed by firing squad. Look at him. He's being asked to account for all the stolen money. That if he doesn't, in 48 hours, he will die by being killed. So you can imagine he couldn't hold himself, even in public, in the presence of the press. He couldn't hold himself. He couldn't manage himself. So that's just a problem in Africa. Our leaders, they don't pay attention to the demand of the people. And like I said initially, we don't even ask for much, just basic things, basic things. Look at the past administration before this administration. We all saw all the money that they borrowed. And when you look around, you go and see the roads in Nigeria. Most roads are in bad, very bad situation because they don't care about the people. They don't. And this is what is giving rise to all this coup. The military, they are no longer comfortable seeing their people suffering. It's not as if we are supporting it. We are in support of democracy. But when democracy fails, you find out that this military, they now see it as an opportunity. They will tell the whole world that it's because Niger Republic is not working. Life is not getting better. People are suffering hardship everywhere. That they feel that they can do better than the leaders. So this is some of the things that Nigerians are equally crying out there for. We want good leaders. We want leaders that think about the people, leaders that want to help the people. So Gloria, let me allow you to take over at this point because I'm still experiencing that drenched.
Okay, thank you very much. For me, I feel that, like you just said, the people are not asking for much. What the people are asking for is just good governance. Give them access to good schools, access to good waters, access to good road, access to better life. That's why you are in power. That's why we have democracy. That's why we have government. So we can have leaders that will help us, because it's actually the money of the nation, let me put it that way, that will help us use the finance that the nation or the country has to better the lives of the people. But what we are seeing in African countries is that the leaders are always embezzling public funds. What they are just after, it's me, myself, and I, or me, my family. That's what they are just getting into power for, just to take care of themselves, take care of their families, Like we can see many politicians send their children to school abroad and all of that. That's majority of the things they are always doing, forgetting the people that voted them into power, forgetting the masses, people that are in the streets looking for ways to feed, that are actually depending on the government to create better opportunities for them, like jobs. They are graduates in different countries, African countries, even in our nation, Nigeria, that are actually struggling, looking up to the government to help them. But there is no plan for these people. There's no plan for the masses. The plan for most politicians, both in Nigeria and then in most African countries, is just to get into power, and then to enjoy themselves. That's one of their major plan. And seeing this man crying on national TV is actually sad. It's actually a very sad one, because, like you just said, that we are not actually happy that the military is taking over, because we love democracy. Because the concept of democracy is actually government of the people, for the people, and by the people, and it's meant to do the people good. But when the democracy is actually failing, this is just like an intervention to help the people, because even the civilians in this country too are backing up the military, because they can see clearly that they have not gained anything. And for him to come out and be crying, believe you me, he's crying not because he might say he's innocent, or he does not know how they have spent the money that was stolen. He's crying because he loves his life and does not want to die. That's one of the major reasons I believe he is crying. But instead of politicians and leaders to allow themselves to come to this point, I believe they have room enough to do the right thing. While you are there in power, just do the right thing. If while he was in power, he was able to do the right thing and did not join, let me just say, the band of the bad leaders to do those things, he will be exonerated at this point in time. They will not come for him, because these guys, they will be watching critically to know those who are actually part of the bad leaders. So, and they will come after them. But when they check your profile, check your record, and see that even if you are trying to do your own job as finance minister, maybe there are other things stopping you, but you are not part of the bad eggs in leadership, they will let you go. But at this point in time, I believe that the major reason why he's crying is because he's scared of death. He's crying because he has never imagined himself being in this kind of tight corner with all of the power that he has amassed over time. So, but that's not how it's meant to be. I just believe and I pray that God will help our leaders in Africa to give them an understanding of what leadership means. That leadership is not just going there and having a name, that you are the president, having a name, that you are a senator, you are distinguished, and all of that. The leadership is for the people. You are just like, let me just say, you are a tool that will help your people. You are there because of your people, not because of yourself. That's the whole idea of leadership. But that the major challenge is that most African leaders have not gotten to understand what leadership truly means. What they are after is just themselves. And I will keep saying it, what they are after is just for themselves. Because when we check their track record, like what we are seeing in Nigeria, for example, you check their track record. They have led as governors, they have led as members of House of Rep, they have led, and they will still want to come as senators, come as ministers, just every position. Let it be that I was once a governor, I was once a this, I was once a that. Just that position is just so sweet to keep enjoying it, and enjoying it for yourself and your family. But that's not how it's meant to be. There's something I saw somewhere that's concerning Peter Obi, that even while even after serving as governor of Anambra State, that his daughter, that's his only daughter, even until up till last year before he started coming out for president, that she was actually a teacher in a public school in Lagos State. So this is actually a hard. And there's also another president in America one time. I cannot remember the particular leader then. Even after leaving office as president, he went back to his job as a teacher. This is actually hearts of leaders. They are not there. They are just there for the people. They can give both their personal funds to ensure that they see the things working, to ensure that they put smile on the face of the people that they are leading. They can just go the extra mile for the people. They don't care of how much will be in my bank account after this my 4 years or my 8 years in office. But most times when people do bad way like this, it's just because they are after how much will I leave office with? How much will my family leave office with? Will I leave office and still continue or go back to my former job and all of that? But this office you're into is not just, it's not an escape from let me say other things in life. You can actually leave office and continue your normal life. It's not an escape for other things in life. I just believe and I pray that God will help our leaders in Africa to get better understanding of what leadership is meant to be, sincerely, of what leadership is meant to be. What he's doing now, coming out on national TV and crying, it's painful, sincerely, it's painful. But if this is the only means that the people will get their freedom, if this is the only means that people will be liberated from bad leaders, I believe it's worth it. I believe that it's going to help other leaders in the country, and it's going to help other African leaders to actually redirect their steps and start helping the people with the basic things they need: access to good roads, access to good schools, access to good health cares. There are many children dying in Africa on a daily because of poor health care. You see, you check the rate at which kids die, at which children die. There's no good health care. There's no good access to good water and all of that. And we have leaders who don't even want to open their eyes to see these things. And you are happy that you can say you have like over 50% in your country they are part of the poor. It's sad. God will just help African leaders. That's what I
Really
believe.
sad. It's really sad that in Africa, leadership is really a very big problem. I hope you can hear me well, right?
Yes, I can hear you very well. It's better now.
You can hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Okay, good. Yeah, so I've fixed the glitch issue. So, guys, really, Gloria has said it all. Gloria has said it all. Leadership is all about empathy, trying to put yourself in the shoes of others. Consider others, like she has used Peter Obi to cite an example that this man he has only one daughter, and do you know what?
Yeah,
He allowed her to teach in public school. Don't forget that financially, Peter Obi is very comfortable. So it's not as if he
true.
cannot, raise money for her to begin or to start a very big business, or even to like help her get employment in a better position. But he allowed her, to pick up such, let me say, a common job. Because, these things, leadership is all about character, behavior, what you do, what people see you do. That is what will tell people if you are a real leader or not. We all saw what he did in Anambra. And, people came out to accuse Peter Obi that during his stay in office as a governor, he did not even try to nominate people from his kinsmen. His brother, his blood brother, equally accused him that he refused to give him contracts. So you can see what we are talking about. Leadership is very, very simple. Just do things in the interest of the people. That is just it. As simple as it is. But we hardly see it in our politicians, in the whole of Africa. Africa has leadership problem. It's everywhere in Africa. And that is why most coup happen in Africa. And at the end of the day, it will be a successful coup. You see what happened in Niger. Even though many countries and even
Yeah,
Europe came up to like threaten them that they will give them penalty, they will like, sanction them and all that. But they insisted. This time they disregard US, they disregard EU, they don't want to know. And even when our president equally issued his own statement, they ignored him. You know, he's the ECOWAS chairman, and he said
Yeah.
not quite long that he's not going to tolerate all this power grab, that democracy must prevail in Africa. Just few days after that statement, what happened? This coup now happened. Just a stone throw from Nigerian border. So, guys, this is
Yeah.
what we are saying, that the judiciary really has to rescue Nigeria, really has to help Nigeria regain its position, regain its image, in the international space, because people are now looking at Nigeria like a place where there is no rule of law. People don't obey court order, anything can go. And even if elections
Yeah.
are conducted, at the end of the day, the judiciary will compromise. That is how people look at it. And that's why we are telling our judiciary to use this opportunity to remedy their own image, not only the image of Nigeria, because honestly, Nigeria is still a giant of Africa, and we don't want to lose that, that prestige that we have, because currently that prestige is even not there. Let me say we want to regain it. So, guys, this is all we have to say tonight. Sorry for the glitch I had previously when we started. Honestly, I know we started the show today, but know how I believe that we have one thing or the other from what we have said. So thank you all for joining us. I want to keep it very short so that other people will be able to hear the gist from beginning to end. Thank you very much for joining. Please, if you want to subscribe to my channel, do so. I beg you. That's the only way you can support us. And also give this video a like so that YouTube can make it up for others to see. Thank you for your time and God bless you. Gloria, thank you for your beautiful contributions. God bless you and good night. Bye.
Good night.